Okay, here we go. So this is what we talked about yesterday, right? Here are our two standard forms if we have a vertical parabola versus a horizontal parabola, okay? The vertex is always at HK and our directrix and focus are always P away from our vertex, okay? Today we are going to be working backwards, okay? So let's think about how we constructed our parabolas yesterday. What's the first thing we had to identify? Okay, well, we need it in standard form. From standard form, what's the first thing we identified? The vertex. We took H and K and made that our vertex. Then, what did we do? Then we had to find P so that we could plot our focus and directrix. Okay? So, tell me this. What information are we going to need to know if we have a graph and we want to write its equation in standard form? We're going to need to know P, we're going to need to know H and K. All right, if we know P, H, and K, then we can write our equation in standard form. Okay, now there's going to be a lot of different situations where we can get H, K, and P. All right, you are not always going to be given the vertex and P just straightforward. Okay, you might have to think a little bit about what the graph looks like to figure out what H, K, and P are. But we will look at a few different examples. Main thing is we need our vertex and we need to know P. Once we have those two things, we can write our standard form equation. All right, so let's look at this. Here I have a parabola with a vertex at the origin and a focus at 2, 0. Okay, I want the standard form. My suggestion to you is to, what am I going to tell you to do? Graph it of some kind. Is it going to be a pretty graph? Probably not. Is it going to be accurate? Probably not. But plot the information that you have so that you can visualize what's going on and you can count P if you need to, or identify the vertex if you need to. All right? So we have our vertex at the origin, and our focus is here at 2, 0. Okay? So first of all, we know that the vertex is 0, 0, right? So what does that mean about H? Is 0. What's K? Okay, if our vertex is 0, 0, then we have H and K. 0 and 0. All right? If my vertex is here and my focus is to the right of it, what direction is this parabola opening? It's going to open to the right. Okay? So we know that P has to be positive because it's opening to the right. What else do we know about P? Why is it 2, Jonathan? Okay, our focus is 2 units away from our vertex, so P is 2. All right? Now, this parabola is opening to the right, which means it's opening horizontally. Be careful. Is our x the variable that's squared or the y? The y is the variable that is squared. So we know that we have y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. That is our standard form, right? Now we can just fill everything in. I know that k is 0. I know that p is a positive 2. And I know that h is 0. So my standard form equation would be y squared equals 8x. Any questions? look at another one. What is the standard equation of the parabola with a vertex of 2, 3 and a focus of 2, 1? I'm going to go ahead and let you try this one without me. Okay? This is very similar, if not almost identical to the one that we just did. Do you agree? Okay, so I'm going to see if you can do this one without me. What direction is our parabola opening? Okay. Jenna, give me one piece of information we can pick out from this picture.
P is -2.
Okay, and why is P -2?
Because it's 3 minus 1 and it has to be negative, so yeah, that thing opens down.
Okay, our parabola is opening down, so it has to be negative. Our focus and vertex are 2 apart, so P is 2. Okay. Something else, Chase. From the picture. Like, what else do we need to identify before we move on? What's H? What's K? All right, so Joey, what's your equation? this? Okay. Comments? Okay, one thing, Jared.
The coefficient should go on the quantity that's not squared.
Okay, the coefficient always needs to go with the quantity that is not squared. Very good. Anything else? Okay, make sure it's always y minus k and x minus h. Okay? And ensure you are not the only one who made that mistake. Okay, it is easy to want to put those as positive numbers, but make sure it's always x minus and y minus. Okay, yes.
Isn't it X times?
Oh, good point. X goes with X, Y goes with Y. Okay? And I know some of us were mixing those up as well. Okay? So here's our standard form. Okay, that was good practice. You can only get better from here. Look at another one. Now we know the vertex and the directrix. Okay. So here we have a vertex of -2, 1, and we have a directrix of x equals 1. Like this. Okay. What direction is our parabola opening? This is opening to the left. Good. We have our vertex, which means HK -2, 1. Can we identify P? How? Okay, how far away is our vertex from the directrix? 3. So P is 3. Positive or negative? Negative. Okay. Since this is opening horizontally, we know that we are going to have y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. Okay. So our standard form equation will be y minus 1 squared equals -12 times x plus 2. Now, okay. I'm going to throw in an extra example in here. What if we have the focus and the directrix? Okay, in the past 3 examples that we have had, we have known the vertex and the focus or the vertex and the directrix. Now I'm saying focus and directrix. Okay, so let's talk about what that would look like first of all. So our focus is 2, 1, and our directrix is y equals, whoops, thank you. Getting ahead of myself there. Okay, so this is our focus and this is our directrix. First of all, where would our vertex be? You're saying 2, -1 would be my vertex. Why?
Because in the middle.
Our vertex better be smack in the middle of our, between our directrix and our focus, right? So, that is why our vertex is there, okay? What direction is this opening? Up. What is our p-value? So our p-value is a positive 2. So if our vertex or our parabola is opening vertically, we're going to have an x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. So we have x minus 2 squared equals 8 times y plus 1. Questions so far? Okay, this last example, please make sure you write it down. In my experience, we go through this example and people are like, oh, this is fine, this is easy. And then they get to the homework and they can't remember what we did. Okay, so please make sure you write this one down. All right? Find the standard equation of the parabola with a vertex of 3, negative 3, and it passes through the point 0, 0. Okay. Do we have enough information? Okay, what way is it opening? Couldn't it open left? Yeah, it could open up or it could open left, correct? So I would need to give you one more piece of information, okay? Let's go ahead and say that this is going to open up. So if this is going to open up, that means our standard form equation is going to look like this. Do you agree? Okay. Well, we at least know what h and k are because we have our vertex, correct? Okay. So h is 3 and k is negative 3. We know nothing about the focus or directrix, so right now we know nothing about p. How are we going to find p? Okay, if 0, 0 is a coordinate on our parabola, does it satisfy the equation? Yes. So when I plug 0, 0 into the equation, it should work, correct? If we have the full equation, we plug 0, 0 in, the left should equal the right side because it's a point on our parabola. So what we can do is we can plug in our point 0, 0, and then my only variable is p. Right. So we have negative 3 equals 4p times 3. Oh, shoot. Thank you. So we have 9 equals 4p times 3. Which would make p.
Okay, so we have to plug in points for proper functions. Like, what if there's only 3 left?
Then you can still plug in a point. As long as it's a point on the parabola, it will satisfy your equation, whether it's a function or not. Okay. So, sorry, what's p?
3/4.
3/4. Okay. So when we go back to our standard form here, we get x minus 3 squared equals 4 times p, which is 3, right? Times y plus 3. Okay, any questions? Nice. 8:41. Let's go ahead and get started on our assignment. Okay, that way if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me at this time when you get to those.